Welcome to The Divine Mess, a sanctuary where the dance of the empowered masculine and the divine feminine unfolds in all its glory. Join us as we delve into the heart of these cosmic energies, exploring their attributes and the profound impact they have on our lives. From the raw power of the masculine to the nurturing embrace of the feminine, we uncover the balance that leads to a life of abundance and joy. Our hosts, Curti Deva Perriman and Tina Ryan, are your guides on this spiritual journey who blend science with soul to offer practical wisdom for harnessing your divine energy. We celebrate the beauty and imperfection, embracing the chaos of life's journey as a catalyst for growth. The Divine Mess isn't just a podcast, it's a movement towards wholeness and self-expression. So come laugh with us, cry with us, and grow with us. Every episode is an invitation to explore the depths of your being and to live out loud, authentically, and unapologetically. Subscribe and join our community of seekers as we support each other in this extraordinary, messy adventure we call life. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're tuning into this fabulous episode of The Divine Mess. And if it's the first time that you have landed in the hot seat with us, welcome. My name is Tina Marie, and I work with women who are moving into their second season of life and letting go of the life that they no longer desire and reaching out with both hands for the one that they do. And as always, I am joined by my gorgeous co-host who can have the pleasure of introducing himself this morning, and he's shaking his head at me, so here we go. Mauritian born, Kiwi living, French speaking, always very dulcet tones, helps you transmute fear into love via the Golden Temple. My very dear and gorgeous friend, Mr. Curti Deva Perriman, welcome to the virtual couch this morning.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. No, but thank you
Yes.
for this introduction. I really appreciate it that we are turning up. It feels like every single week again, we're going back on track after a while, but it's good to, like catch up on our own, I would say, and we are very blessed to have beautiful guests all the time. But it's good to always go back to the roots, like we have been doing
Yeah.
one episode about it. But today is about last week episode with a fabulous guest, like Tina will say fabulous. That's her word. And you can see Tina, she's on the go. She had her notes ready, her reflection ready.
I did. Yeah. It sounds better in French. So you say the name and then I'll just sprout what needs to come out because she was amazing.
It was. We had Lisann Valentin on the couch.
Oh my God. You're my friend, but seriously, French is just the sexiest language going, I reckon.
I can keep speaking French if you want.
I appreciate that you can. But honestly, she's probably one of, I think, our top 10 guests that we've had. And as you all know, my good friend and I, we do a lot of work. We try really hard to be mindful of our spiritual ascension and the work that it requires, and paying attention to what's going on around us and outside and to learn lessons. But honestly, Lisann delivered a masterclass last week. I think that's the simplest way that you can put it, in the most humble, loving, with ease and grace. Just, it was probably one of the loveliest conversations we've had in a really long time. And for a woman who has a toolkit, shall we say, of careers and skills and abilities. You sometimes wish that you could go back and have a sliding doors moment in your life and go, oh, wouldn't that have been interesting to have been raised in a family like that, to have had those sorts of familial skills being displayed on a regular basis instead of perhaps living with parents whose potential spiritual gifts were hidden in a closet, locked and padlocked and bolted and buried at the bottom of the sea. I just think it would be very fascinating to be able to be raised in that sort of environment and then to sort of shun it, turn it off, and go and try your hand at the logical section of life and, learn about the law and then go and dive headlong into acting and give yourself an ability to expose all the different facets of your personality and going and trying all sorts of, I think one of our previous guests, Raj, said same sort of thing, like acting gives you that ability to put this face on today and then tomorrow you get to put the next face on. And so I think everybody would really benefit from having that notion of being able to try themselves on in different shapes and forms until they sort of found something that fits really nicely instead of wearing a form that is insisted by others, or mum and dad did it this way, or my friends are doing it this way, or the stuff I see on Instagram says I should do it this way. Just the ability to try stuff on, I think, would be beautiful. And then to have time and space to be able to merge all of those skills, to then be able to be of service to others when they're starting their journey or they're halfway through their journey, and learning what the spiritual realm has to offer in terms of good, hard, honest life lessons, but also the thrilling front seat of the roller coaster where you hang on for dear life and you scream your ass off and you go, I can hear David saying, let go and let God. And I can still laugh at myself.
Yeah, I learned that from Wayne Dyer. Like he always. So when you say that, I hear Wayne Dyer's voice. So to me, it's like Wayne Dyer saying, "Let go and let
Yeah.
go." I feel it's a really important lesson. And like Lisann explained, like I love that roller coaster analogy. When you're going down the roller coaster, you take your hand off and you're like screaming. Like your hand off or high up, and that's how you surrender to the universe. Surrender a bit more
That's our favorite word.
and surrender a bit more to the universe. But I feel like also what we always shared, like the Netflix specials we talk about, it's like everyone has their own way and acting, because we had two fabulous actors who came on our couch without us, you know, knowing about it, knowing about their acting careers, and they were successful in what they were doing. So, but they shifted, like universe shifted their way. That was spirituality. And I feel like every morning we got to choose which character we can go in. Like, do you want the drama today? Like people are asking. Sometimes I feel, because recently one client was telling me, I don't want any more of that drama now because I'm on the high, like I'm vibrating high. I don't need the wine even. So I'm just high on life. And I'm like, okay, that's good to hear. So you're choosing your higher self. And then she's like, I don't know what to do when people are coming with their dramas and repeating the same. So what she meant is like, yes, we all go through challenges. It doesn't mean we are having a dramatic, like the drama queen or drama king, if you want, whatever it is, doesn't mean that. But because then I told her that part where I heard it on the podcast. There was one guy very successful in what he does in the real estate field, and he was saying, so if you're my friend and you repeat the same story 3 times, and 3 times you were given like something to deal with it, how to deal with it. Like I've given you a tool, and you have not done anything, but you're repeating it every 3 times. I give you 3 chances. On the third time, you're gone. Like literally, I'm cutting you off, and all his friend knows about. And I feel like for me, then I was telling my client, it's like, you're canceling your Netflix special. You're canceling Netflix from the drama category because you get to choose which movie you want to play today. Every morning you say, like we say, all those teachers say, wake up with gratitude, wake up with feeling love and compassion. That's the movie you're choosing for the day because you can wake up and feeling like crap, but yet say, okay, today I'm feeling like crap. I don't want to get out of it, but still I'm going to choose to see love in what I'm going to do or how I'm going to show up or going to the gym or going for a walk, going to the park, even if it's raining, it doesn't matter. And Dre Dispenza talks about that. Is like people don't want to get up because they know they are going to repeat the same pattern. That's why they don't want to get up because they're already conditioning themselves that tomorrow when I'm getting up, this is how my day is going. But if you change that movie on the eve, guess what? In the morning, it will start shifting. Maybe not on the first day, but on the second, it might shift a little. On the third, it's going to shift massively. But people give up on that. The first time it didn't happen, because we are living in a one click away world. That's what I call it.
True.
Everything is one click away. And I was again reminding my client about it. So you have to be mindful you have to be compassionate towards people in that sense. Because we are being conditioned to get everything one click. You want to order anything, like Uber delivers at your door in countries where they have Uber. You want to book a vacation, one click. You want to pay your groceries, one click. But when you're on this spiritual journey, it's not one click. It's several clicks
Oh, good Lord, no, it's so not one
in
click.
5 minutes.
It's you know what those frustrated people when the computer is not working and they click the mouse 10,000 times? Surely, surely, surely it's got to work. That's the spiritual journey, kids. It's clicking the mouse and going, I don't like the answer. And the universe going, middle finger to you, sunshine, because if you really, really, really want to learn, you got to go through it. Like, I'm so sorry, but I think Lisann was talking about people being on that hamster wheel, like, but then they end up on the outside and on the top of the hamster wheel and think, oh, I've got a different point of view and life is good and I'm on the top and it's all running smoothly. But what they don't realize is that, if they're not running fast enough, they're going to face plant and then the wheel is going to run right over the top of them. It's not until you get off it. And the thing is, most people don't realize they're on it. I had another friend describe it to me as that merry-go-round when you were kids, right? And one person would be running along the side and you'd be spinning, 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 spinning. And it's like, well, when are you going to get off, team? When are you going to put your foot out and go, I've had a gutful? Like, that friend, I was that friend. I was that friend that complained about my husband and my life. And, I wanted it to be different. And she's like, well, the only person that's going to make it different is you. So it's a bit bumpy when you jump off and it's a little uncomfortable. But at the same time, you get to see things really, really differently. I think I walked beaches a lot. I learned to love my children in a very different way. I learned to love myself in a very different way. I learned to love a good scotch and a good vegetarian meal, which my friend will absolutely adore. But there's so many facets of yourself you have not yet tried on for size. Like David said, try the facet of waking up and being happy. even if you're not, find something to be happy about. Whether it's just that first sip of coffee or your first sip of tea or going outside and this, hey, it's going to be 30 degrees today and it's going to be sunny. Or, you know what? It's going to be pouring rain. So get your gumboots on and go jump in a puddle. Do something that creates an energy or a vibration, but don't allow the media. Turn your news off. Go through your Facebook feed and cut out all the people that are negative Nancy's. And if you subscribe to news outlets, turn it off for a while and see, because it's a little bit like the plant experiment. I had to explain this to my partner the other day because he was like, that's just bullshit. And I said, hang on a minute. No, it's not. And so I had to send him the video of the plant experiment of when a group of school children had 2 plants and 1 plant they spoke lovingly towards, and how beautiful you were and how green and how lovely and how lush your leaves are and how much joy you bring into the classroom. And then the next one, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, all the stuff that we have regularly going on in our heads. And that plant died, I think, within the space of 10 days. Like 2 school weeks, it was dead, gone, finished, done. So, you know, with our conversation with Lisann last week, it was a really, really powerful reminder of what we say to ourselves when we stand there and look in the mirror. You know, do you stand and you critically assess and you go, well, that could be a bit smaller, that could be a bit bigger, the lips could be a bit fuller, there could be less wrinkles, there could be different this, different that, or there could be, oh, actually don't mind this meat suit that my soul is being carted around in. It allows me to do great fun things with good people. It allows me to get on my bicycle and cycle and or run or play with your dogs or play with your kids or whatever it happens to be. But we do need to find those facets of ourselves that are somebody different. Try being an actor in your own life, I think, is a good takeaway, or that at least I got, and going, do you know what? I'm going to play the abundant, wealthy creatrix in my own life. And it's interesting what comes up. And especially when I add in the, I'm surrendering, I'm sitting on the front seat of the roller coaster and I'm not going to hustle and I'm not going to grind and I'm not going to push. And if it's going to come off, it's going to come off because that's what's meant to happen.
Mm.
And, you know, I did for the first thing that I was waiting for and it just popped in. And then the second one, I was so keen and so excited and I started to push for it. And I'm like, this is not coming fluidly. So I've had to go, okay. I kept checking.
Surrender more.
Yeah, well, I kept checking yesterday and I'm like, surely it's there. Surely it's, and I'm like, Teen, you're being a dick. Stop it. Let go. Just go have some fun with everything else that's going on. It will come if it's meant to. And I think it's interesting because if this thing that I am working towards comes off, it is going to produce a chain reaction of a lot of other things. And you kind of, I don't know, you kind of sometimes have that hesitancy that if I step into this, you know, wildly abundant and successful and, you know, I can create anything that I want. We've all been conditioned to think that you get up, you have a cup of coffee, you have your breakfast, you go to work, you earn your money, you come home, you eat your dinner, you watch Netflix, you might get a cuddle from the person that you're laying in bed next to, if not your puppy or whoever you choose to share your bed with. You roll over, you go to sleep, and then you wake up and it's like Groundhog Day and it happens all over again.
Yeah,
but
scared of the power. Mm.
maybe not, but the it's intoxicating though.
Mm.
When
It's
it
like a
all
drug.
seems to like it's like this is good fun to play in. And everybody around me is like, holy shit. Um, they're just not ready for I don't know if everybody else around is ready for it, but they're all very excited. And it's like, I want to maintain that momentum and that excitement as well. So today I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm going to ride my bicycle and see what the universe brings me, because every afternoon I've been riding home with monarch butterflies. So it's been beautiful. But that was my huge takeaway from the gorgeous Lisann.
Yeah.
Um, she's probably one of my favorite humans at the moment. I like her and I like her content. And
Yeah, her energy is just amazing, and based on what you shared, like about the experiment that you speak with Cam, there's another one where they played only music, not even talking, to rice, to dry rice. So they put it, I think it was basmati rice, just promoting Indian rice, just letting you
I
know.
love it anyway.
So they just put it in three different pots. Same condition for everyone. Like in terms of environment, the only difference is the music being played to them. And the one with the hard rock as well, like the language is very offensive, very crude language. It wrote like within, I think, less than a week or something, less than 3 days or something. Yeah. And just by being the one that played gentle music, I think it stayed for 30 days. Nothing happened. No bacteria, nothing. Nothing happened to them. Yeah. So even like how you're speaking to yourself, and I always compare your mind to the garden, like it's about taking care of that garden where you build the garden, you nurture the garden, and the butterflies come to the garden. It's not you chase the butterflies. It's you building the garden where the butterflies come. So the angels come to you. Well, you have to ask them because or else they will be waiting and waiting. And that's when you surrender more. You just surrender more. You just surrender more. But I feel like having these on with the beautiful reminders, uh, like the bombshells, drop the mic movements that she had throughout. Even in the first conversation that we had with her, like just be that beacon of love. That's still in my mind. Like just be love and focus on that feeling to dissolve anything. And I feel like that's when you stop chasing things and things get attracted to you, whatever you're wanting. And for me, it like goes back to that when you're already on that level of your light and let God in and just allow and be godlike. Just be godlike. You will, and that's where people fear. That's where people fear the power. And I feel like there are many theories about it. The one I feel for me is the pulse life, the misuse of power that comes always come up. For me, that's if you go back in like because I did Akashic Records as well, pulse life, regression. So I noticed those patterns of misuse of power. So now you're in a lifetime where you're meant to use that power for the highest good of all, but yet you have that fear because in the past you misuse it because you didn't understand it because it was the ego doing that. Sorry, but when you let God act through you and you nurture that vision of the God's vision and you nurture that, you worked out that you let God work through you. That's when you don't have that fear. It's not about because you don't compare yourself. The moment you feel like you're becoming like superior, it means you're going in your ego. The moment, because as spiritual people as well, we tend to judge, oh, they are not on that level yet, you know? And we say that, and it's natural. I feel it's a natural reaction that we have. So we will say things like, oh, they are not on that level yet. So for me, the moment I am thinking about that and it's going towards that thought, I just stop and say, right now, no, they are like, how you call that? The divine expressing through themselves, through those people. Or even it's like son or daughter of God. Lately, I've been reading The Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And in his book, he always say like, if you choose to see the other person as the son or daughter of God, because he's come from the Christian faith. So in his book, there's a lot of Bible verses, and I really don't mind it. So it's just another way of expressing God's message. So it doesn't matter, like, and it's how you interpret it. So always like focus on the message. Because like yesterday, I was sending one of my Mauritian friends a reel, and he instantly told me like, I hate that woman. Like she doesn't like the woman. And she said like, if you said it, I will get the message. And I said,
Interesting.
yeah. And I said, look,
Interesting.
focus on the message, not the person. If you don't like the person, that's totally up to you. But what they are saying is important. So sometimes I feel we meet people in our life. The universe is speaking for those people for the highest good of all, but we ignore it because we don't like that person or we don't like their vibe or we don't appreciate. And you're not meant to love everyone in their human form, but as your soul, you're one. So if you focus on that love within you, you will learn to appreciate every single person that you meet.
But it's also those people that tend to grate us in the wrong way. They are versions of ourselves. It's the universe showing you how far you've moved along in your journey. And it's a reminder of where you were. And I've had that over the last couple of weeks, a very strong reminder of that controlling, like desperate for approval, the gotta hang on and I'm desperate and I just need to be perfect for everybody and everything's got to be lined up and all the T's crossed and the I's dotted and everything's got to be. And then I was like racking my brain, and it really wasn't until we had that conversation last week that I went, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. She's just a version of me. And I'm like, oh, now I can just love her and think you're going to be okay, kid. You're going to be fine. It's going to be a journey for you. I'm not going to share that it's going to be a journey for you, but you're going to be okay, and I can appreciate where you're at. And, I can love you for where you're at. And because I can do that, then I can relax, because I felt like I was being poked and prodded and like, why? And then I went, ding dong, hello.
Hello, me, the old me.
Hello
Hello.
me, hello me. The one is living off adrenals and the one that didn't eat very much and the
Yeah.
one that was running all the time and it just like going, aren't you exhausted? just, you just look at it and go, shit, aren't you tired? Has it
Mm.
not hit you just yet? It obviously hasn't. So that's okay. We will just wait for it to unfold in its natural time.
And you were sent in, you came as the spiritual assignment, just like for you and for her, to
Yeah.
remind yourself how far you have come, but also to gently guide her. because you know the language that will she will understand because you've been there
Yeah.
before. So you will understand how to speak to her, sorry, and how to guide her gently,
Mhm.
because you know how resistant you were back then to anyone telling you, well, there's another pair of glasses that you can use if you want to.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I'm just letting you know it's there. It's
Yeah.
there for you to, you can check it out,
Mhm.
360 view,
Yeah,
whatever.
I just dropped the name Louise Hay because Louise
Yeah.
Hay was the first one that sort of got it started for
Mm,
me. So I just said, just have a little look at this book. Just your audio book. Look her up on YouTube, however it works for you. Just step into this little space in time
mm.
and we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need to share is like whatever we've been, because we've been on that journey. We've seen
Yeah.
ourselves, how we have grown. And at that time, we understand that we are not ready to receive that level of information. You will go crazy. I remember that scene if Steve Harvey said that if God shows you like 5 years who you would be, but this is what's going to take. He said like 99.99999 will say like, hell no, you're not doing that. Right? Of course, you will run away from that because you're
Yeah.
not vibrating or elevating at that point. Like you're not on the same
Mm,
frequency, you're not tuning the same radio station.
yeah.
So you won't understand that. But it's only telling you that this is who you could be. When you meet people that you admire, you say, oh wow, this is where I want to be. But you're already there in one dimension. If you look at quantum physics, it's like telling you, oh, you're already there. It's just
Hmm.
universe saying like, well, you're already there. So it's like every time you elevate, I feel like you meet another people, another version of you, maybe in the future or in the past. It depends
Hmm.
how you see it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
It's
mm,
exactly it, and it's just some of the look, honestly, go back, listen to the episode. There are, as David loves to put it, so many golden nuggets in that episode. Make sure you have a journal and a pen. Perhaps listen to the episode while you're driving, maybe, and then go back and do it again and get your journal and your pen because they will be sticky note things that you will want to whack up on the mirror in your bathroom and on your fridge and maybe in your car, wherever you need that daily reminder of
mm,
it's okay, kid, and you've got this. Put them up because honestly, the universe was doing a massive download through her
yeah,
last week, and I loved every single minute of it. And stay tuned because there might be some interesting side snippets coming soon. And
yes,
I think that's all we're going to say is that we're going to be changing things up, I think, a little bit
yeah,
in the coming wee while, just to try those different facets on for ourselves, right? Just to
yeah.
see what it looks like and what it feels like.
It's just exciting to see like how we have evolved as well as like on the human level in terms of the podcasting as well. It's still evolving and still growing. And it's just amazing for me, it's like the same, like you're meeting the old version of you and then you're meeting the new version. And then you see those podcasts on another level. It's like, yeah, this is where we are going. We're already there. And
Mm.
so then these creative ideas start to flow in. But while we were sharing today, like this question kept coming today, and I would like to ask you if that's okay. Ooh, in French. No, I'm kidding. So, what
You'll
would
have to
be
speak
your?
very slowly if you're speaking in French.
No, I will have to use ChatGPT to translate that right after
Okay,
our
okay.
Google. So, what would you ask God if you had a
Mm.
moment you had to sit with?
Oh, bloody great question. God, what a great question. there's so many things that you would want to ask and go, think for me, is it, could I do it again? When I
Mm,
get to the end, can I
yeah.
please do it again? I think
Wow.
because as much as you go, oh my God, high school was painful, and oh my God, dating was painful, and oh, being married was exciting and painful and challenging and going through all the stuff, but at the same time, just going, all of these amazing people that you've met on the journey of the nearly, as Mel Robbins puts it, I'm nearly at mile marker 50. Like, it's kind of it's kind of the tipping point, right? Riding up the roller coaster, and there's going to be the tipping point of me screaming my ass off for the next 50 years and enjoying absolutely every single minute of it. But I'd want to do it again.
Mm,
Like, but could I please have a snippet of the knowledge that I've garnered?
mm,
Could
mm.
I please take a snippet of the knowledge that I've garnered
Yeah.
with me rather than having the whiteboard erased and having to start again? I think just a little bit, to just a reminder of some of the tools that I have
Mm,
in my toolkit. Could I just take a couple of those with me front and center? Like,
yeah.
and to want to do it again,
Mm,
because I think it's it's kind of like that. You don't know where you're going to end up, you
mm.
know, or who you're going to be, or what family you're birthed into, or the experiences. Like, we meet all these amazing people that have had all these great experiences, and you go, oh, what would that be like? And what would this be like? And just the possibilities, because they're infinite. I I want to keep going, and I want to keep experiencing. So yeah, that would be
Beautiful.
mine. But what about you? Like,
Yeah, actually, I got that question. It was like an interview with, there's a TV show, The Chosen One. I don't know if you heard of it. I think it's about Jesus' life, if I'm not mistaken.
mm,
I have not watched it. So this reporter was asking the guy who played uh, the main character, and she asked her. So I just paraphrased the question in my way,
mm,
but the guy answer said, so based on the same question, he said like, did I did I do good? Did I did well according to you? And I was like, that's amazing how he phrased it. But for me, my first 3D question will be like, why have you chosen me? Like that's more
ah,
like for this life, for these
yeah,
contracts, why have
yeah.
you chosen me?
It's
What
an
do you see?
interesting thought, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
what am I not seeing yet?
yeah. That would be my question, like because that's when she asked that question, and I was like, okay, so if I'm sitting with God, first of all, I will be like Godsmack, that expression for sure, because you're seeing God, like, ah. It's like the music, all of that.
All I
Unlike in
see
the
is Morgan
movie,
Freeman, right?
yes,
All
it's
I
like
see is
for
Morgan
me, it's
Freeman in the white
exactly,
shirt and pants, and yeah.
and I know like I have so many millions of God and angels all around, the team. But it's like for me, it's like Morgan Freeman exactly. So I always picture in the same voice, and I'm like, I know it's stereotype or cliche, but seriously, this is how I put it. And I will be like, okay, that's the first 3D question I will have for me that I thought of. Like, why have you chosen me for this mission that you have for me? Which I'm not aware sometimes, which I forget, which I did forget, you know? And on a deeper level is like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
Because I will be curious where you will take me, like where you will take me.
Mhm.
That's my question, I would say, on a deeper aspect. But the first one that came was why. But the next one was what's next.
I think that's kind of a simple answer, really. The
Yeah,
why,
yeah, yeah.
don't you think?
It
Do
is, it
do
is. That's why I said like it's a 3D question that I had at
mm,
that moment. Because when the reporter was asking him that question, I was like, like
that's
you start thinking about you like pose and then it's like that's the first question that came. And then when he answered, because I posed it and then I watched because I didn't want to be biased. And when he answered, I was, oh my God, that's amazing. And even the reporter was like, okay, we need to take a break right now, like because that was so deep. Like,
yeah,
because you never think of that kind of question. So for me, it would be like, what's next?
yeah.
And I've been asking that around, like in terms of the universe. If you have a time, really like this, and if you see it really, we tell people to meditate, to take a moment for you. But
Yeah,
what you're doing, you're sitting with God or universe or spirit in that moment. And if you learn how to ask questions, if you reframe your question, you get the answers. The
well, it's like
answers
Neil Walsh, isn't it? Right? You know,
exactly.
he asked the questions and he got the book
Yeah, he
or
got
the
the
three
book.
books.
Yeah. And there's two more because I think there's Home with God and Friends with God, Friendship with God.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, haven't got
Yeah.
that far yet.
So you get a book, you may get a series out of it, but you get to help people as well. But
Yeah,
what I'm inviting people is ask yourself if you have a moment to sit with God, what will be your question? Or
yeah,
what do you think? Maybe people will say, what do you think God will tell? I
yeah,
don't think God needs to tell you anything because He's speaking so many every single day to you throughout the day through
yeah.
the Instagram reels that are sent by your friend to wake you up at 12:30.
Bless your heart.
But it's like just reminders, like social
Mm,
media is like a great reminder. If you
yeah.
use it well, if you start seeing it in those light.
I think you've got to be smart about it. And I
Mm,
think you need to set some boundaries and parameters around it. But it's interesting when you kind of go, okay, well, if that is the expression, that if love is the expression, then what I do every single day is help people express how much they love someone else.
yeah, exactly.
So it's however you choose to express that love,
Mm.
but that's what I do. And
And if
when
you,
you look at it from that frame,
mm,
it feels good.
yeah, and just imagine every client coming to you and you just ask them, so how do you express your love to to your partner? And that,
Interesting question, right? And going, okay,
and
well, show it
because
me.
that, and it's like that amplify the love feeling
Yeah,
and like create that vibe in where you are and it just ripple effect. So
yeah,
how do you express that? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
be the love.
It is your personal expression, and that's normally what I say to most people. It doesn't
Yes.
have to look like everybody else's expression. This is your expression. This is how
Mm,
you two feel about
yeah,
each other, or this is how you feel about your son or your daughter or your grandmother or whoever the person is that you're wishing to express that. Um, but how do you express it to yourself?
mm,
I think is a better question,
yeah.
you know.
If they are ready to answer that, you will get a
Mm.
feeling. But I notice like with people, if you start asking around about their surrounding, that's when they get comfortable before they come
Oh yeah,
to themselves. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But with best friend, it doesn't work that way. It's straight to you and then to the
Oh,
surrounding.
absolutely. God, no, no. It's the samurai sword, and it's just cutting straight
Yeah.
down the middle, straight to the point, splitting, turning that singular moment into duality, and just going, well, it's both dark and light, good and bad, happy and sad. It's all of those
Yeah.
things all wrapped in one. But the more we think about, I'm light and I am love and I can handle anything that is sent to me. I have the skills and the abilities to handle anything that is sent to me.
Mm.
Then you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. That's so powerful. It's a powerful affirmation, and when you trust that when you're saying, you're feeling it, that's what the universe is going to send you, like the strength. And again, you can hear Morgan Freeman asking you, so when you ask for patience, what do you think God is going to send to you? So it's like, what I'm going to
Oh,
send to
every
you.
trial under the sun, children that don't listen, or kids that think that the kitchen is an a la carte restaurant,
Yeah.
just testing my patience. Like I understand that. Sometimes I'm quite mindful of what I actually ask for.
Yes. Yes. So for me, I reframe it and say thank you. I already say
That's
thank you.
much easier, isn't it? Not, I want to win $1 million. No, no, I would like to feel the abundance of the universe. Thank you.
Definitely. Definitely.
So whether it's an abundance of flowers on my ride, or butterflies, or
Butterfly.
happy people, or,
Mm,
it's just a flow on effect.
it is. Well, thank you for this beautiful conversation,
It
with
was
so much
fun,
love. It was great fun. Um, I really enjoy those moments when we go back to the roots and just have those light-hearted and mixed with deep question that make you reflect, and like I really enjoy those conversations, to be honest. Yeah. So thank you for that space and for
Thank you
listening.
for lifting me up on a Friday morning and getting me sorted for the day, and remembering that I needed to put my hands up and just
And
say, okay,
let God, and
do, do,
surrender
do my
more.
do my jazz hands and go, let's go.
It is, it is. So I will leave you to say the last few words to our
As
audience.
always, yes,
Thank you.
we love you, and thank you so much for sharing your most precious resource, which is your time, with us. We truly, truly appreciate it. And just a little side note, if you have anybody who you feel would benefit from listening to the dulcet French tones of my very dear friend and my international mix of whatever accent comes out of my mouth, then please share the love and share the Divine Mess podcast with those that you feel would be a good fit for us, because we are looking to grow our community and to grow the impact that the Divine Mess has on this beautiful world that we live in. So please feel free to share, if you feel called to do so. However, until next week, have fun. Try on some new facets for size and see what comes of it. But until then, my friend and I are going to go and hop, skip, and jump into the weekend, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.
Thank you. We'll see you.